Why are you revealing so much? Have you ever noticed how the more you share, the more exposed you feel? Have you ever caught yourself halfway through a conversation and wondered, why am I sharing this? It's an unsettling feeling, realizing that you've revealed a bit too much about your personal life, your thoughts, and your plans. The words are already out there, and the moment you said them, something shifted. You've given away a piece of yourself that can't be taken back. Why do we do this? Why do we feel compelled to share the intimate details of our lives with people, sometimes with those who barely deserve our trust? Maybe it's because we crave connection, or maybe we're searching for validation. But here's a deeper question. Is it truly worth it? In an era where oversharing seems to be the norm, especially on social media, the concept of keeping parts of your life private feels almost revolutionary. But what if I told you that the less you share, the more power you hold? What if staying silent about your goals, your emotions, and your daily struggles isn't a form of weakness, but a profound expression of strength? This might feel counterintuitive, especially when we are conditioned to believe that transparency is everything. But here's where Stoicism offers a radical, life-changing perspective. Stoics understood that in a world constantly seeking validation, silence is an armor, a way to protect your inner peace, fortify your mental resilience, and maintain control over your life's narrative. Why should you stop telling everyone what's going on in your life? More importantly, how can this practice lead you to a more empowered, balanced existence? In this video, we'll explore 7 things you should never tell anyone. Whether it's for your mental health, your personal growth, or your overall sense of peace, these are the things better left unsaid. As we delve into each point, you'll discover how embracing a Stoic mindset can free you from the need for validation and protect the sanctity of your inner world. Let's dive in. 1. Your future plans. Keep your dreams to yourself. Let's be honest. How often do we share what's happening in our lives simply because we crave validation? Maybe you've just started a new project and it feels exciting, so you rush to tell your friends, family, or colleagues. You want them to applaud your ambition, your courage, and your dreams. But the truth is, by sharing too soon, you open the door for unsolicited advice, judgment, or even envy. It's natural to want to share good news or to announce your intentions, but telling people about your future plans can be dangerous. Why? Because once you start talking, you invite other people's opinions, doubts, and criticisms into your space. Imagine 2 scenarios. In the first, you're working on a personal goal, say getting into better shape. You start telling everyone around you, your co-workers, your family, your friends, even acquaintances. Each time you share, people offer their opinions, their tips, and even their doubts. Soon, you start second-guessing yourself. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe they're right. What if you don't succeed? Now imagine the second scenario. You silently begin your journey. You wake up earlier, hit the gym, change your diet, and make progress without announcing it to the world. There's no outside noise, no judgment, no unsolicited advice. Just you, your goal, and your commitment. Weeks pass, and suddenly, people begin to notice your transformation. By this point, you're already secure in your journey, and the external validation, or lack of it, doesn't affect you. Take a moment and recall a time when you shared a goal too early. Did the excitement and encouragement you hoped for turn into unsolicited advice or skepticism? I remember a personal experience where I made the mistake of telling a colleague that I was working on something significant, an idea I believed could transform the way I approached my career. It was still in its infancy, and naturally, I was eager to talk about it. One evening over dinner, I casually mentioned it to a friend. What followed wasn't the supportive cheer I had hoped for, but a wave of skepticism. Their words left a mark. "That sounds risky. Are you sure that's even going to work? What if you fail?" It planted a seed of doubt that made me second-guess my decision. Something I was once confident in became a source of anxiety, simply because I let someone else's perspective infiltrate my mental space. That night, I realized that some things are better kept close to the chest. Silence allows your dreams to grow strong, away from the noise of others' opinions. By the time they see the results, you'll have already built the foundation of success. Why let anyone get in your head before you've even taken the first step? What do you really gain from sharing everything? Is the need for validation worth the risk of allowing others to weaken your resolve? Stoicism teaches us that our goals are ours to nurture privately. When you keep your dreams to yourself, you shield them from unnecessary judgment and the insecurities others might project onto you. We are the guardians of our inner peace. The more we invite others into our thoughts and plans, the more we expose ourselves to external influences, both good and bad. The Stoics understood this deeply, which is why they advocated for a disciplined approach to communication. You retain control over your focus and motivation, unburdened by external doubts. Consider this: when you don't reveal everything about your life, you retain an element of mystery. People can't anticipate your next move, they can't predict your actions, and they certainly can't undermine what they don't know. If you're still watching, please like and comment below with a sign that you've noticed in your own relationships. Your insights might help others recognize similar patterns and foster healthier connections. 2. Your financial situation. Guard your wealth quietly. In a world where money often becomes a measure of worth, discussing your financial situation with others is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Whether you're doing well financially or struggling, once people know about your situation, it changes the dynamic. Either they envy you, resent you, or worse, feel entitled to give advice or ask for help. A friend of mine learned this the hard way. He received a substantial bonus at work, and out of excitement, he mentioned it to a few friends over dinner. What followed was a barrage of hints about paying for things, splitting bills unevenly, and suddenly becoming the rich one in the group. His finances became public property in their eyes, and it made every future interaction awkward. You might not even realize how much people shift their behavior once they know about your financial standing. The subtle glances, the unspoken expectations, it's all there. Even if it's not outright requests for money, there's an undercurrent of expectation that builds. People who you thought were indifferent to your wealth start making comments that at first seem harmless, but they quickly add up. It's not about being paranoid, but about being cautious. Your financial situation is yours alone to manage, and the less others know, the less you'll have to navigate these uncomfortable waters. Think about it. When you share your financial wins or struggles, you open the door to judgments and assumptions. It's not just about envy. Sometimes, people may feel superior if they think they're doing better than you, or pity if they assume you're struggling. Neither is helpful. Keeping your financial cards close to your chest allows you to move through life with fewer complications. You're not burdened by others' opinions or expectations, and you maintain control over your narrative, which is essential when it comes to your personal autonomy. The Stoics believed in modesty and self-control, especially when it came to wealth. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most powerful Stoics, lived with humility despite his immense power and resources. Why? Because he understood that true wealth doesn't lie in material possessions, but in a calm, steady mind. When you disclose your financial status, you invite comparisons, judgment, and even exploitation. Your finances are your business, whether you're experiencing prosperity or difficulty. It's better to keep it to yourself. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and trust that your silence protects both your dignity and your autonomy. 3. Your personal struggles. Not everyone deserves to know. Life is hard. We all face personal battles: anxiety, heartbreak, disappointment, self-doubt. While it may seem comforting to share these struggles with others, doing so can sometimes make things worse. You risk being misunderstood, judged, or dismissed. Even worse, some people might take pleasure in your pain, using your vulnerability against you later. I learned this lesson when I confided in someone I thought was a close friend. I was going through a rough patch at work, feeling overworked and undervalued. I shared my frustrations, expecting sympathy or at least understanding. Instead, that person later used my words to undermine me in a group setting, casually bringing up my inability to handle pressure as a joke. It stung. When you open up about your personal struggles, you hand someone a piece of your vulnerability, a piece that not everyone is equipped or willing to handle with care. It might feel like relief in the moment, but the truth is, not everyone who listens has your best interests at heart. People's intentions can be unpredictable. Some might seem supportive only to later twist your words or use your hardships as a way to elevate themselves. It's a harsh reality, but one worth considering before you let someone into your emotional world. Take the Stoic philosopher Seneca as an example. While known for his wisdom and restraint, Seneca found himself entangled in the dangerous politics of Nero's court. In his attempt to guide the young emperor, Seneca often shared his concerns and frustrations with those close to him. Unfortunately, some of these confidants were not trustworthy, and his words were used against him in the ruthless political environment. His attempts to navigate his struggles openly ended up putting him in even greater peril. In a similar vein, we must recognize that sharing our struggles can sometimes do more harm than good. Rather than seeking validation from others, consider turning inward. The Stoics taught that facing our challenges alone can be an empowering experience. It's a testament to our resilience. By processing our emotions privately, we build inner strength that cannot be easily shaken by others' judgments or reactions. When you share too much of your emotional turmoil, you risk becoming a target for others' insensitivity. It's like giving them ammunition for future conversations. You might end up feeling worse after sharing than you did before. Remember, your struggles are part of your journey. They don't need to be on public display for anyone to judge. Instead, focus on self-reflection and healing in your own space. 4. Your relationship issues. Keep love life private. Relationships are complex, filled with ups and downs. It's tempting to vent about your partner to friends, seeking advice or sympathy. But what happens when you do that? You might find yourself caught in a web of opinions, advice, and judgments that muddy the waters instead of clarifying them. Everyone has a different perspective on relationships, shaped by their experiences and biases. By sharing your issues, you might inadvertently invite solutions that don't resonate with you, or worse, provoke conflict between you and your partner. I experienced this firsthand when I confided in a close friend about a rough patch in my relationship. I was frustrated and seeking advice, but what followed was an avalanche of opinions and comments that only intensified my feelings of confusion. Some friends offered solutions, while others shared their grievances about relationships, leading to a spiraling sense of discontent. My friends' perspectives clouded my judgment and affected how I viewed my partner. Instead of gaining clarity, I ended up feeling more isolated. When you open up about your relationship struggles, you run the risk of turning your support system against your partner. People tend to pick sides, and before you know it, you're left with a group of friends who are forming opinions about someone they hardly know. And the more you share, the more you can create a negative narrative around your partner that may not accurately reflect the reality of your relationship. The Stoic principle here is about maintaining harmony and balance in your relationship. When you face challenges, consider talking directly with your partner instead of involving a third party. Address the issues openly and honestly. Don't let external voices distort the conversation. Relationships thrive on understanding, communication, and trust. Instead of broadcasting your problems, focus on finding solutions within the relationship itself. Remember that the best conversations are often the ones held in private, where both partners can express their feelings freely. Seek to resolve conflicts without the noise of outside opinions clouding your judgment. This leads to a stronger partnership and a deeper connection. Practicing discretion in sharing your relationship struggles not only protects your relationship, but also fosters a more intimate bond between you and your partner. 5. Your dreams and aspirations. Protect your vision. When you have a dream or aspiration, it's often filled with excitement and passion, but sharing those dreams too early can lead to a phenomenon known as premature celebration. When you share your aspirations, the excitement can trigger a false sense of achievement. You feel like you've already accomplished something, and your motivation may wane. It's an odd psychological trick we play on ourselves. Let me illustrate this with an example. When I started writing my first book, I was bubbling with ideas and energy. At a gathering, I shared my vision, explaining the themes and concepts I wanted to explore. The response was enthusiastic, and it felt amazing to receive praise. However, after that initial buzz, I found myself less motivated to put in the work. I realized that I had unconsciously celebrated my idea by simply sharing it. My energy fizzled, and the project stalled. Conversely, when I chose to keep my writing project private until I had a substantial draft, my focus and determination remained intact. I could immerse myself in the creative process without outside influence or distractions. This time, when I finally revealed my work, it was polished, and I felt ready to embrace feedback. The Stoics understood the power of silence in cultivating one's aspirations. By keeping your dreams close, you avoid the distractions that come from seeking approval or validation. When you don't announce your intentions, you maintain a steady focus on your goals. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By cultivating a quiet inner world, you empower yourself to manifest your dreams more effectively. So, whether it's a career change, a creative project, or a personal goal, consider keeping it private until you've taken significant steps toward achieving it. The world doesn't need to know everything you're working on until you're ready to share. Allow your dreams to grow without the influence of outside opinions, and when the time is right, let your achievements speak for themselves. 6. Your secrets and fears. Guard your inner thoughts. We all have fears and insecurities, things we worry about, moments that haunt us, or secrets we keep close. It's tempting to share these vulnerabilities, thinking it might bring relief. However, sharing your deepest fears can backfire. People may not understand, or worse, they might use your vulnerabilities against you in the future. One evening, I confided in a friend about a deep-seated fear of failure that often paralyzed me from pursuing new opportunities. While my intention was to express my struggle, my friend later used my vulnerability as a joke in a group setting, making light of my fears. The embarrassment was profound, and it made me regret opening up. The Stoic mindset encourages us to confront our fears privately and recognize that vulnerability doesn't always lead to strength. Instead of sharing every fear or insecurity, focus on working through them internally. Acknowledge your emotions, write them down, or discuss them with a trusted mentor or therapist who can offer guidance without judgment. Remember, not everyone needs to know your secrets. Your fears belong to you, and navigating them in solitude can lead to profound personal growth. The more you keep them to yourself, the more resilient you become in facing them head-on. Embrace the Stoic belief that true strength lies in self-reflection and personal accountability. 7. Your successes and achievements. Celebrate quietly. In a world that loves to hear success stories, it can be tempting to broadcast every achievement. Yet, sharing your successes can also attract envy or resentment from others. Sometimes, the loudest celebrations bring the most unwanted attention. When I completed a challenging project at work, I shared my success with my colleagues, expecting applause and recognition. Instead, I noticed subtle shifts in dynamics. Some colleagues seemed to distance themselves, while others began to criticize my methods. What was meant to be a moment of joy turned into a source of tension and discomfort. The Stoics remind us that true fulfillment comes from within. Rather than seeking external validation, consider celebrating your achievements privately. Reflect on your progress, appreciate your hard work, and allow that feeling of accomplishment to be your motivation. This approach not only preserves your peace, but also prevents unnecessary drama or negativity from seeping into your life. As we wrap up, remember that silence can be your greatest ally. When you refrain from sharing certain aspects of your life, you reclaim your power, focus on your goals, and cultivate resilience. The Stoics believed in the strength of the individual, urging us to find our own way without the distractions of others. So the next time you feel the urge to overshare, pause and ask yourself, is this something worth revealing? In most cases, you'll find that less is indeed more.